Hey guys, LevelCap here, and today in gaming, Warzone's Armored Royale has a massive problem. Apex Legends might be getting some big balance changes, the Stadia port of a massive indie title has been cancelled, and much more. Warzone's eternal struggle with game-breaking exploits continued this weekend as players have discovered a new invisibility glitch. The alternative mode Armored Royale was brought back in a recent playlist update for them, but there's widespread reports that it's plagued with invisible players. A similar glitch appeared in the game back in December and utilized a glitch with helicopters to turn players invisible. This new glitch provides the same benefits, but it's done by using the armored trucks in Armored Royale. Players abusing this exploit are apparently immune to certain kinds of damage as well. The only silver lining is that the glitch seems like it's exclusive to the Armored Royale mode. You should be fine if you stick to the standard Battle Royale. Regardless, it's yet another issue on the growing pile of issues with the otherwise blockbuster title. Raven Software have a lot of work to do to get Warzone in the state it needs to be in for the long-term success. Every update seems to introduce new problems, especially with limited time event game modes. This is exactly what you don't want to happen with a live service game. Games like Warzone are supposed to set a precedent that every update will add something new and fun to the game, but it really seems like it's adding new and fun plus lots of bugs. In more positive Call of Duty news, Black Ops Cold War is getting League play today. This is the competitive matchmaking system Treyarch rolled out with Black Ops 2 and has iterated on with each subsequent release. It offers a similar system to what was in Black Ops 4, but with more ranks to climb through. The big question on everyone's mind is what impact the introduction of a ranked mode will have on the game's skill-based matchmaking. Could Treyarch be relaxing skill-based matchmaking in casual modes? Will serious players actually migrate to the ranked playlist to loosen up regular lobbies? It's tough to say. Players have been very vocal about the perceived impact of skill-based matchmaking on their matches since well before Modern Warfare's launch. Adding a ranked mode to the Cold War could be a good test of how accurate their claims are. It sounds like significant changes are in the works for Apex Legends based on a recent Reddit AMA with the developers. In recent months, Caustic has caught on as one of the more popular picks. His gas canisters and gas grenade ultimate give him the double duty of an offensive and defensive legend. This is huge in late game situations, leading to him having the highest win rate of any legend. The devs say they understand the frustration Caustic causes by being such a hard-hitting character and will be tweaking him soon. The top question of the AMA about increasing Apex's server tick rate really stood out. Apex's servers currently update at 20 Hz, so every second they update player positions and bullet impacts 20 times. The industry standard update rate, aka tick rate for competitive games, is about 60 Hz. The devs responded to the question by saying they'll work with the networking team to release some info about their future plans. Increasing the server tick rate could theoretically improve the game's hit registration and latency. YouTuber Battle Nonsense analyzed Apex's netcode in 2019 and discovered it had much higher latency than comparable titles. And while I'd expect that the devs have improved the game's networking since then, Battle Nonsense hasn't updated his impressions since then. The Stadia port of indie hit Terraria has been cancelled. The founder of the game studio, Andrew Spinks, recently had his Google account suspended without cause. He's been trying to get it back for several weeks but hasn't gotten anywhere with Google's support team. This is a common issue for everyday folks. Getting suspended or banned by companies like Google, Facebook, or game developers often means you have no resources for getting your account restored. But for something like that to happen to the founder of a studio working directly with Google is kind of absurd. In response to the situation, Spinks released a series of tweets calling out Google's inaction and announcing Terraria Stadia's port was cancelled because of it. While some players are upset at the decision, it speaks volumes about Google's approach to customer service. Such a notable partner who is actively working with the company to deliver a product getting their account suspended without recourse is just insane. And Terraria is no small potatoes game. It sold over 30 million copies. Launching on Stadia would have been huge for Google's game streaming platform. The PlayStation 5 is officially launching in China between March and June of this year. Like with most things, the PlayStation 5 has been unofficially available in China since its launch. All units sold in the country so far have been done by third parties, importers, and individuals reselling hardware they bought while abroad. The official launch will see PlayStation 5 hitting store shelves and getting direct online support from Sony. Unfortunately for Chinese players, the PlayStation Network is region locked to China, and they'll only be able to buy approved games. Epic's dabbling with exclusive titles is ramping up over the next 2 years. When the Epic Game Store first launched, they used exclusivity to make the platform more competitive with Steam, GOG, Humble, and other digital game stores. Unfortunately, it led to a lot of bad press as big titles like Metro Exodus went from being available for pre-order everywhere to suddenly being exclusive to the Epic Game Store without warning. Since the early days of EGS, Epic has gotten a bit smarter with their approach. Now they announce exclusivity alongside games being revealed, but the exclusivity still causes problems for players and even some games. Hitman 3, for example, has big issues with importing levels from previous games because they aren't all available on Epic's store. The flip side of all these problems is that Epic's exclusivity contract has upfront money built into it. Developers in need of extra cash or who need to hit certain numbers of sales get a lot of stability and peace of mind by launching on the Epic Game Store. Of course, it's up to Epic who gets that contract, and they've notably passed over many indie developers with great games on their hands who could really use the money. AMD's version of DLSS could be arriving before summer. DLSS is NVIDIA's AI-accelerated upscaling method that produces stunning results. It can take a game running at 1080p and upscale it to 4K, presenting an image that rivals or even beats a native 4K rendering. The real selling point, though, is performance. DLSS can offer huge FPS games in most games, especially those using ray tracing. AMD's new GPUs do support ray tracing, but don't offer a comparable upscaling feature. Because of this, they generally perform worse across the board in ray tracing tests. And while that's also partially due to AMD's new GPU being their first generation of ray tracing hardware, it's clear NVIDIA DLSS gives them an insane advantage even outside of ray tracing applications. AMD's implementation is called Fidelity FX and could launch as early as March. Assuming it's on par with NVIDIA's current DLSS tech, it could offer some performance improvements for AMD's GPUs. They're already priced competitively with NVIDIA's and even beat Team Green in some comparisons. Throw in good upscaling tech and we could have a proper red versus green performance battle on our hands. Nioh 2 recently launched on Steam, and it's getting a very mixed reaction from players. The big complaints are performance issues and keyboard plus mouse players getting the wrong input prompts. As with any PC title, it's hard to gauge how accurate claims about the performance problems from players actually are. Often, just turning down a few settings will massively boost FPS or alleviate an issue being caused by a bottleneck. But it's also just as likely that the games need a patch to fix performance bugs or smooth things out. For now, if you're looking to pick up Nioh 2, I'd say wait for some patches to roll out. Before we get to our final story today, I just wanted to give a special shout out to everyone for subscribing recently. 64% of our views come directly from subscribers, and that's up from 61% just a few weeks ago. You guys have absolutely been killing it lately hitting that subscribe button, and we really appreciate your support. If you're on the fence, consider subscribing so you don't miss any breaking gaming news. It sounds like the Halo Master Chief Collection might be launching on a new platform. 343 teased that the collection might get a new place and way to play soon. Considering that it's already on PC via both Xbox Game Store and Steam, that doesn't leave a lot of unexpected places for it to launch. The Xbox version of the Master Chief Collection all have been updated with the PC improvements too. While the tease might hint at something crazy like a Nintendo Switch port, it's much more likely that the Master Chief Collection is coming to the Epic Game Store or even maybe macOS. Halo running on an Apple computer would kind of be a weird full circle event. Back when Halo was first revealed, it was going to be an exclusive title for macOS, but Microsoft swooped in and bought the rights to the game so they could launch it alongside the original Xbox. From there, the rest is history. And that wraps it up for today in gaming. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.